Where does the heart of the global economy truly beat? Is it on the frantic trading floors of New York, or within the ultra-modern, high-tech hubs of Silicon Valley? Perhaps, but the real answer is hidden in a place far narrower, much hotter, and infinitely more dangerous: the Strait of Hormuz. Stretching just 33 kilometers at its narrowest point, this ancient waterway is the absolute jugular vein of the global energy supply. As an engineer, looking at this map reveals far more than mere geography. It reveals a massive, high-stakes logistical bottleneck where every single day, millions of barrels of oil and liquefied natural gas must navigate a corridor with zero margin for error. When you begin to analyze the true anatomy of the strait, you encounter a fascinating and terrifying engineering paradox. This jagged corridor between the rugged coasts of Oman and Iran is, for the world's largest VLCC tankers, essentially the eye of a needle. To manage this chaos, we rely on what is known as the traffic separation scheme. Here, the giants of the sea, vessels the size of skyscrapers, must navigate with millimetric precision. Inbound and outbound ships are confined to dedicated lanes only a few miles wide, flanked by treacherous shallows and rocky outcrops. It is, in essence, an invisible and rigid highway system constructed over the deep ocean, managed by advanced satellite arrays, constant radar surveillance, and relentless human vigilance. The numbers associated with this passage speak for themselves, and they tell a story of absolute global dependency. Approximately 21 million barrels of oil flow through this narrow throat every single day. To put that into perspective, this represents more than 20% of the world's total petroleum consumption moved by sea. It is the lifeblood of industries, the fuel for cities, and the backbone of international trade. If the Strait of Hormuz were to close for even 24 hours, a catastrophic domino effect would ripple through global energy markets instantly. Oil prices would spike to unprecedented levels, industrial production across continents would grind to a halt, and the modern world would face a state of total energy paralysis. What makes this location truly critical from a structural engineering standpoint is the sheer lack of any viable, large-scale alternatives. Yet, Hormuz is much more than just a difficult logistical corridor. It is the most tense and volatile strategic chesspoint on the planet. Beneath the dark waves, the strait is a complex, invisible grid of advanced sonar systems, acoustic sensors, and potential naval mines. The passage of modern aircraft carriers and destroyers through these waters is as much a feat of extreme engineering as it is a calculated display of geopolitical power. Modern naval engineers must monitor radars that simultaneously track thousands of objects, from tiny, fast-moving boats and massive civilian tankers to sophisticated military patrols. In this high-pressure environment, a single system failure, a sensor glitch, or a misinterpreted radio signal isn't just an operational accident, it is a trigger for a potential global crisis. The question that keeps strategists and engineers awake at night arises: are we forever bound to this fragile bottleneck? For decades, the greatest minds and infrastructure have spent years trying to solve the Hormuz paradox. We see massive, multi-billion-dollar pipelines cutting across the vast Saudi deserts and ambitious bypass projects emerging in the United Arab Emirates. There are even fabled futuristic concepts of digging monumental canals through mountains or across scorched earth to create an entirely new path to the sea. However, when faced with current technology and the harsh realities of global economics, no project has yet been able to match the natural, massive logistical capacity provided by the strait itself. While the rise of future smart ships and autonomous AI navigation might eventually reduce the risk of human error, the crushing geopolitical weight of this water will never truly diminish. The Strait of Hormuz stands today as the definitive proof of how fragile the balance of our modern civilization truly is. It is a unique place where ancient, dust-blown trade routes meet the absolute cutting edge of military technology and massive industrial structures. It remains one of the most critical and fascinating nodes we have explored in the Unknown Blueprint series, a point where geography, engineering, and the very survival of global markets intersect. As we look toward an uncertain future, the stability of this narrow, turbulent passage remains the silent, heavy guardian of our global continuity. Until we decode the next secret of our world's hidden infrastructure, stay observant and stay balanced.